Outgrown is this movie that's about kids. Can you give it, like, what's the quick synopsis for Outgrown?
The quick synopsis
versus me reading it offline.
No.
Yeah, I can go to IMDb and just tell you.
Yeah. Let's hear about it from the creator.
Yes.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Outgrown is basically about two kids. They were actually trying to sneak into a concert, so they was doing it by any means necessary. I always tell people it's kind of like a planes, trains, and automobiles for kids, you know.
It's awesome.
They took a helicopter, a limo ride, always to sneak it on a city bus to try to get to this concert. All to get, and I'm going to hold that so people can go watch it.
Yeah, go check it out.
At the end, go check it out. Yeah, it's on right now. It's streaming on Up Faith and Family Television. So we signed a deal with them, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, so you won some awards with this movie, and did you go to film festivals for this?
Yes, we put this one in a lot of film festivals, and that's actually how we got our film deal.
Okay.
Because it was in a lot of film festivals, and Sam, the director of photography and one of the producers, he actually met someone from Up Faith and Family at one of the festivals, and she was like, "Hey, give me a call," you know, that type of thing happened. And it was kind of like a referral through a friend, and we sent it to them, and they loved it.
How does the film festival circuit work? Because I'm completely fascinated by this, because we've been to plenty of music festivals and played in music festivals, and they are you have a traveling act, and everybody hops in their buses, and you go to the next city, and that's how a music festival works. Film festivals seem like they're completely different.
Nah, it's totally different. Film festivals, you submit your film online, and if they like it, if they screen it, they send it online through screeners, and they screen it. If they like your film, they would actually invite you to come, and then you don't know if you're going to win an award or not, but you are actually invited to come to the festival. They give you your credentials and stuff.
That's
you basically
awesome.
just sit in the audience with everybody else and watch your film. So we watch your film thousands of times, you know.
Right.
And at that point, you're announced at the end whether or not you won. You're in different categories and stuff like that. And you may or may not win. And then sometimes you get beat out by films and you're like, man, we should have won. and I laugh about it because I'm like, I now know what like artists feel like at the Grammys. You know, when we should have won.
Yeah, when Kanye got up and stopped the show.
Yeah, exactly.
No, the Outgrown was the best video ever.
I'm going to let you finish.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was several times we wanted to do that.
Did you have people that you were like trading back and forth with? Were you like, you won at one festival and then they won at the next one in similar categories, or?
No, it wasn't like that. It was more like you kind of respect the films that won, because some of the films that won the categories, I'm sitting like, oh man, we should have did that.
Right.
You're thinking about different things, and you know why they won, because, and some things, I hate to say this, some things are politically motivated at the time.
Yeah.
I know one film had won. It was during the time when they were like, well, it's kind of still going on, about deporting people, you know. So it was a film about deportations and how the families that got deported were feeling when they had to go back to countries that they were never raised in.
Right.
So that film won. You know, we was like, I understand, it was political, you know. But I was bad, but I was like, it's a good movie. But, but I was like, that was political.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, that's tough. Subjectivity plays a huge role in anything.
So you mentioned that there at the film festivals there are different platforms. What was the one you mentioned that it was the Family Faith?
Up TV.
Up TV.
Yes.
So at these film festivals, you're also hoping to get
distribution. Yes.
Okay. Because you already have funding through whatever channel.
Yes.
But you still need to put it out there somehow.
There you go. You have to put it out there. So there's so many different ways you can get distribution now. You can get distribution through network television. They will usually approach you if they see the film, or if somebody submitted it. They usually want to do a licensing deal with you, or they'll buy it outright. If they feel like it's something that they can take and make a series out of, they will actually buy it outright from you. They don't want to deal with you again,
right?
Because they have their own writing team. At that point, you just basically took a little small check and let them.
It's like the FBI coming in town and taking the case away from
there you go.
sheriff.
From the local
Thanks,
cops.
we got it.
That's exactly how it
Good
feels. So yeah, it's a similar situation, you know. So that could definitely happen. But you can also self-distribute as well. So there's so many different ways you can self-distribute. I'll tell everybody else, YouTube is there. So a lot of films like Issa Rae, you know, she started as a awkward black girl, or the misadventures of an awkward black girl, something like that. And now she has her own TV show, you know, on the network, on the HBO, whatever network is on now. So that can happen as well. You can start on YouTube and get enough viewers and likes and and you can monetize YouTube as well. So if you can monetize it and get as many views and some major distribution companies or television networks, they'll come and try to buy that from you as well,
That's
or at least
crazy.
partner with you. You know.
So you've mentioned before that you are a big advocate of independent distribution
Yes.
and licensing.
Yes.
Why would you go those routes versus just the buying outright? Because it's difficult as an artist who's struggling to not look at that big paycheck and say, you know what, they're offering me more money than I have seen ever
in life.
Yeah. Why would I say, you know what? No, I'm going to take less money for this.
There you go. It really depends on where you're at financially.
Yeah.
You know, I would say sometimes I'm in a good situation to where I didn't have to sell out. You know,
Right.
Like I said, I started in the industry older, more mature, so I had money saved up, so I didn't have to take those bomb deals. And you know, similar to the music industry, a lot of musicians they take these bad deals because they're young kids that needed that check. You know, they got that $1 million check,
Right.
But realistically, they only got $650,000 because 300-some thousand of went to taxes. You know,
Oh, yeah.
So you got to think about it like that as well. I'm just in a fortunate position to where I don't have to take those buyout checks. And I always think about when I'm doing productions, I think of building catalog.
Okay.
So when you have a catalog, you got to think about, as a publishing company, if you have a catalog of films, 10 to 20 films, you can always leverage those later in the future because everybody wants content. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about content.
Yeah.
What can we do with the content? So once you finish on one platform, you can repackage it and put it on another platform. Now you have Quibi. You have these 10-minute movies.
Oh yeah,
So
Quibi's killing it too. They're
Yeah,
bringing
they
back all of my favorite shows. Like
Think about
Reno
it.
911, I think is one.
Exactly.
Right.
So you think about it. You have an hour-long show, and Quibi only does like these 10-minute shows. You have like 10 episodes out of it, you know, or you have like
Yeah.
6 episodes out of that hour. You know, so you can cut it up in 10 minutes. Toot, toot, toot. So you got 6 episodes right there.
That's wild.
So many different ways you can do it now. So
Yeah, I think a lot whenever you look, especially like at the licensing stuff or whatever, like Seinfeld. Seinfeld held out for so long before they signed with anybody for their licensing for it, and then they got a huge check
There you
from
go.
Hulu. And then like a year later, they were like, oh yeah, also so Hulu got their year exclusive. Now you can also get us on Amazon Prime because Amazon Prime paid us a lot of money to do that.
There you go.
That's the same thing with AC/DC. AC/DC was famous for being the only giant band that was not on iTunes.
Yes.
And whenever they got onto iTunes, which would have been probably like around 2010, 2011,
Yes.
iTunes was forced to buy the licenses for their entire catalog because so many people wanted it
Yes.
that those guys made a huge payday, enough to where the drummer decided to hire a hitman to kill his wife and then ended up buying. Did you not hear about that?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
I don't
one of
think I
the
heard
crazy.
that either.
Oh yeah, so
This is
Malcolm Young,
the famous drummer.
yeah. So Malcolm Young, the brother of Angus, ends up he's having some memory issues and ends up having a stroke. And during this, the drummer and his wife are having some problems, and so I guess he just looked too hard at their song lyrics and decided to get a dirty deed done dirt cheap, and then hire somebody to kill his wife. And the Australian government was like, "You actually hired an undercover agent to kill your wife, and now we have to arrest and imprison a national treasure."
Tiger King
Sure
style.
enough. Yeah, no
Yeah,
joke,
yeah.
right?